Hello. Uh, Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Python course. Uh, am I audible properly, or is there any sound lag?
No, it's good.
Okay. Okay. So, before going with the course, would like to know about each one of you, like why means what is your educational background, so that I can actually take the course in that way, and also. Yeah, I think you can introduce yourself one by one, and meanwhile I'll prepare the contents which I'm going to deliver today. So yeah, means you can actually tell me about your background and why you want to learn Python, correct? So you can actually start with any one of you. Yeah, you can.
Hey, I can go on from my end.
Yeah, sure.
This is Shalpa. So I've done my master's in United States, and I was working over here on Java and looking to learn on Python. And I'm very new to this technology, so willing to learn from scratch and end to end. And regarding
So
this course,
how many year of experience do you have in Java?
6+.
Oh, great. Okay, yeah. Thank you, Silpa.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, next we have, can we, any one of you, like Ambika's or Mandeep, as I can see in the chat,
Hello.
mentioned yeah, any one of you, can you please introduce yourself and also tell me about your
Hello.
background? Yeah,
Am
hello.
I
Yeah,
audible?
Mandeep. Yeah, you're audible.
Hi, this is Mandeep.
Mhm.
I just passed out in 2024.
Okay.
I'm looking the opportunity in Python, so that's why I read to learn Python.
Okay. You don't have any prior experience on any of the languages, correct?
Just I passed out
Okay, you just passed out. So
2024.
what is your stream? That is a computer science background or from any?
Computer science.
Okay, you are from computer science, then it
Yes.
will be easy for you to get it. Okay, yeah. Thank you, Mandeep.
Oh.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so then we have Ambika, I think. Can you please unmute yourself and tell me about your background? If you are speaking on mute. Can you unmute yourself? Okay, I think she is having some issue. Maybe I think. Okay. I think one more person I can see she has joined, like Priya CH.
Yeah, hello everyone. I'm Priya. I have been working as a software database developer. I have more than 15 years of experience in database, and I did some part of Python development few years back, but I haven't learned it full-fledgedly. So I thought I'll start it and do some kind of development with respect to Python too, so
Okay.
which will be an added privilege, like to my resume.
Okay, great. So
Thank
I
you.
think, yeah, thank you, Priya. I think you have most experience, I think, among all of us. You have 15 years of experience in the IT industry. That is great. Okay, means yeah, means also I think in terms of learning a language, I think you are new, correct?
Yes, this language, yes.
Yeah, you are new. Okay, nice. So we'll we'll go ahead in the course, okay, with the very basics, okay. And first of all, I think you all know that this is a demo class, correct? Means I'll be only telling you about the Python, not going into the Python, okay. And why only Python? That all these doubts I'll clear, okay. And suppose if you're interested to learn Python, so you can go ahead with the course and you can opt for it, okay. And I think I am only not aware about Ambika, so I'll consider her also as an beginner only, and I'll start with the course, okay. So before going ahead in the course, so I think already I have the background of each one of you, and if I can imagine like you all want to simply learn Python, I think you have further uh, means aim to actually do something with Python, okay. So but I think Python should be there so that you can work like you can also get into the data science field, you can also get into machine learning, okay. Means there are various scope of learning a Python, that is fine. But now the question arises, why you all are interested, why you all are here to learn Python, okay. The main reason is because Python is easy. I think you must have heard it from your friends or neighbors or any of your colleague. Definitely Python is considered to be the most easiest language which anybody can learn, okay, without having any prior experience on any of the language. It's very easy to learn Python, okay. That is the first go ahead, means you can say, to learn this Python. So, and I think only jumping to the Python will not make us make a difference. But I think you should also be aware about other languages that are already existing in the current software development cycle world, current software world. So, means there are various languages available in today's market. You can see like it started with the C, C++, Java, and C Sharp, okay, Golang, Ruby, Jupyter, correct? Means there are so many languages available in today's world, but uh, learning each one of the language, each language is very difficult. And also, like if you start with C, C++, so I think uh, means learning C or C++ itself is a difficult task. But I think if you choose Python over the old languages, I think it becomes easier. So how it becomes easier? So that will actually cover when we actually start learning Python. But now I think you should only be aware like Python is easier in terms of syntax and its simplicity, okay. So in order to get a single output, you have to write like 5 to 10 lines of code in other languages as compared to Python, okay. In Python, if you write a single line, you'll get the output. You need not to import anything, you need not to write anything, okay. Simply whatever you want to do, means you have to write only that part of the code. You need not to write the extra stuffs that are actually associated with that line of code. So that is not at all required in case of Python. So that's why people generally move towards Python, okay. But there are disadvantages as well for Python, but I think that are not uh, uh, that much significant. So that's why uh, people generally go towards Python. So now there was enough discussion about Python, so I'll start with the very basic, like how a language is actually helping us to develop in software. Means how a language is very important in actually starting a software development, correct. So if you have heard of like web application development, desktop application development, correct. So all these are software development, correct. So means and to start with a software development, you definitely need a language. So there comes Python, okay. And so Python is a programming language that we all know, correct. So Python is a programming language, and there is a difference between language and a programming language. So but the aim of both the things are same. Like language is here to communicate with the humans. Like if you speak something, someone who is actually in front of you, he will be able to get you. If you speak something, like if you speak in English, so definitely the person who is in front of you, he'll be able to understand you. So that is what communication happens between person to person. So here in case of programming language, the communication happens between person to a machine, correct. So you actually start interacting with a machine, and machine is able to understand you, and he is able to give the output. It is able to give you the output. So that is what is called as a communication between human and machine. So that is where the language comes in. Okay. So but now to communicate with a person, so definitely there is a requirement, like you should also understand what English is, and the person who is ahead of you, that he should also understand what a language is. Correct. So you both should have the same level of understanding, then only you will be able to communicate with each other. But in case of language, definitely there has to be someone sitting behind in the machine who is also able to process your inputs that you are going to write on a machine. So there is a person, that is not a person, that is definitely a program which is lying inside your machine, who is able to interact with you, okay, on behalf of Python. So that is called as an interpreter or a compiler, you call say. Okay. So don't get confused. Means you must have heard this term like compiler or interpreter, correct? If you have not heard of it, so should not get afraid of it, because they are nothing but a kind of a small program which is lying inside our machine just to interact. Okay. Means who is able to translate our language. Okay. I'll share my screen so that you can also have a look on the contents that we are going to cover. Okay. Throughout this course, this is the course content that we are going to cover. Okay. So on very abstract picture, so on very abstract level, we are going to cover core Python as well as advanced Python. And apart from that, we are also going to cover the most important libraries that are available in Python, that is pandas and numpy. Okay. So as a part of core Python, we'll be starting with the very basic, like introduction to languages. Just now I started with, that is compiler and interpreter. Okay. So we're going to cover how a language is being compiled. Okay. And what are the various ways by which we can actually start Python. Okay. Means there are various ways or various modes on which we can actually run Python. So that we are going to cover. And also after going ahead, we'll actually come up with the software installation and all. I'll be helping you to install Python in your machine, and also able to help you to write your first Python code. That will be covered here in the introduction to Python. And then you have the basics and the fundamentals of Python, that will be covering like keywords, identifiers. There are various basic elements that are actually used inside Python. So we'll be going through each one of them, and then we'll be uh, covering them. And then we have different modes of Python that I had already told you. So we'll also cover that. And also, yeah, so like this, we have Python variables, operators, input and output operators, and also the data structures that are being used inside Python. So in a data structure, we have a list collection, tuple collection, set collection, and also the dictionary collection. Okay. So during this core Python, we'll be basically covering about Python. Okay. How a Python programming is written. Okay. And also in between them, we'll have a various assignments and practice sets which will be given to you, so in during the session, so that you can actually get a complete understanding of the topic that we have covered. Okay. And also we'll have a small uh, projects which will be done at the end of the each each topics. Okay. Like once we are done with the core Python, so you'll have a very small project which will be given to you as an assignment, so you can actually get a hands-on Python. Okay. And then we'll start with the advanced Python. So in advanced Python, we have mainly the advanced version of the topics, like whatever we studied in the core Python. So we'll be proceeding ahead with those topics. Okay. So we'll be covering Python modules, packages, and the OOPs, the most important concepts of advanced Python, that is OOPS. Okay, so we'll be actually dealing with the classes and objects, so which are actually if you are already having a background on like Java and all, so you must be knowing what is objects and all. Okay, so all those things are being covered here inside OOPS. So starting with the very basics of OOPS, like we have inheritance, polymorphism, abstractions. Okay, all these are the three pillars of object-oriented programming language. So we are going to cover all of them, and also we'll be having a small assignments on them. Okay, and then once we are done with the OOPS, okay, then we have pandas and numpy as a library, and we'll be actually writing pandas. We'll be seeing the pandas uses and how panda and numpy helps us to actually uh, start with machine learning or data science field, means how they are useful in the data science field. Okay, and also in artificial intelligence. Everywhere you can see the Python is being used for. Okay, so we are going to see all of these library. Okay, and apart from that, if you think like any more topics should be covered, so you can please give us a feedback on that, and we'll definitely, if it is important, we'll include that. Okay, so these are the course content that we're going to cover. Okay, and now I would like to know if you from any one of you who is actually there in the who are actually there in the meeting, so do you think like any topic which is actually left behind and we have not included it here in our course content, you can definitely suggest us here, and we'll actually think on that. Okay, so do you feel like any topic which you want to learn but that are not being covered here in case of Python and advanced Python? Okay, so I would take that I would take it as a no, means you all are satisfied with the course content. Okay, so now I'll simply give you a normal glimpse of Python. Okay, and also I'll show you how easy it is to write a normal Python program. Okay, okay, so the editor that I've opened, it is a command line editor. Okay, here we are actually going to write the first Python code. Okay, so already I was talking about the languages. Okay, means Python is definitely a language, but how it is being interpreted by the machine, so that is another concept. So we'll be covering them in detail when we start with the session. But now I am just showing you how we are interacting with a machine. Means the commands that we are going to write on a console, it is going to give us the output. Okay, so suppose if I write simply print hello world, that is a very simple line that I'm going to write. Okay, so you'll see like, so it is returning me something, that is hello world. Means I'm trying to write something to I'm trying to write something, and it is giving me the return, giving me in return. Okay, so this is what a program does. Means definitely all the programming language works in a similar fashion, but the way it actually gives us the output, that is actually different in other languages. Okay, so like if you write the same, if you want the same output in other languages, for this only you have to write, I think, 3 to 4 lines of code in order to write the same, in order to get the same output. Okay, so that is the main concern with the Python, means main issue with other languages. Okay, and this is the biggest advantage of Python. Like, you need not to import anything, you need not to uh, store anything in the backend. Okay, so directly you can use Python. Okay, and also you can achieve your goal, means whatever is your target, so that it can be achieved in a very easy way with the help of Python. Okay, so like if you want to add, if you want to do any addition or arithmetic operation, so that is also very easy here. So you can see, simply write an expression, it will give you the output. Okay, so you can write any complex expression that you can actually think like, yeah, it will be very difficult to be solved. So you can also write it directly on the console, you'll get the output directly. Correct? So you see, it is also able to solve a very complex expression in an easier way. Okay, so means how this calculation happens in the backend. So that is a part of compiler and interpreter. So that is means definitely there will be someone who is actually parsing this. So whatever we are writing here on the front, okay, they are actually called as a high level language. Okay, so high level language in terms of programming, we actually considered high level language and low level language. Okay, what are high level language and what is low level language? So I'll actually just give a small highlight on this. So high level language that we actually human can read. Okay, so like if I start writing a very means very big means very not a large line, means very 2 or 3 lines of code I'll be writing for I equal to 0. Okay, I'll just show you here. Okay, so if you just look at the program that is written here, okay, so you can see I have a class, and just below we have a very small 3 to 4 lines written inside the class. Okay, so definitely all these things, they are nothing but an English alphabets, and you are able to understand them properly. But in case of machine, the machine will not be able to understand whatever you have written here. So that's why the language which humans can read, they are called as a high level language. But the language which machine can understand, that is called as a low level language. Okay, so definitely there will be conversion of high level language to low level language, then only the machine can understand it. Okay, so that is called as, means that is where the compiler comes into picture. The compiler job is to convert a high level language to machine level to a low level language. Okay, so that the machine can actually parse the high level language to the desired format, and machine only can understand 0 and 1s if you have studied your computer science or electronic, if you have studied ECE. Okay, or electronics, some some subject only there which is there, 0s and 1s, correct? So you would have definitely heard of it. So machine only understand in terms of bits. So low bits and high bits, only that is actually being understood by the machine. So ultimately the high level language has to be converted into voltages, that is 0 and 1s. 0 is considered to be a low voltage and 1 is considered to be a high voltage. Okay, so definitely all these things that you see here, it will be converted into 0s and 1s. Okay, and then that is where the machine will understand what you are trying to convince it to the machine. Okay, so that's where the compiler comes in. Okay, so we'll be dealing with we'll be actually studying about compiler, how the compiler does all these things and how the interpreter does everything in the backend. Okay, Python is a compiled language or an interpreted language. Python is a scripting language or a general purpose language. Okay, so all these questions, okay, we'll be answering it during the course. Okay, and also means apart from this, means if you just look at the course content, okay, yeah, just if you look at the course content, we also have, apart from object oriented, we also have regular expressions. Okay, regular expressions and Python logging module and OS module, and also we have multi-threading concepts. Okay, so multi-threading concepts and the garbage collection. Okay, and also we'll be covering about Python database communication, that is interacting with the file systems and all. Okay, and then we have Python networking programming, means how you can communicate with the networking elements, like you would have heard of sockets and all. Okay, so like the routers and all. Okay, so how the communication happens between the routers, so that also we are going to see here. Okay, then we have tkinter and turtle tkinter and turtle, so they are the GUI programming, means desktop application development. So we are also going to give you a highlight on the tkinter and turtle programming language. And also we have data analytics module, that we have already told you that NumPy and pandas we are going to cover here. Okay, and then we'll also focus on the Django concepts. So Django is nothing but a framework inside Python which basically works on the web application development. Okay, so we'll also give you a small highlight on the Django, so that you can have a basic understanding of Python, and you can also see its uses, where and all it is being used nowadays. Okay, so this was all about Python and its uses. Okay, so do you have any question now? You can just ask me in the in the chat, or you can unmute yourself and ask your doubts here. Okay, and if you feel like something which has to be covered, you can ask me here.
During this course, right, before starting to the, entering into Python, do we need any prerequisites for this? Like, do we need to install and all those
No.
stuff? Or just
No, you need not to install anything. Means you just come with a very basic machine, which is actually more than 4 GB of RAM, and we can start with a Python. That is it.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So, any more questions do you have? Okay, so one question I have. So you all belong to the same place, means, or it is something like in a group you want to start the class, or it is something to you all are individual coming from different places.
I am in EST zone, Georgia.
Okay. Okay, means I think you all are from different places, I think. Okay, no, so this was all about the demo class, okay, and okay, still we have half an hour. So what I'll do actually, we can see various usage of Python, okay, and then we can wind up this demo class, okay. I'll just show you few basic applications of Python, okay, and then we can wind up, okay. So whatever I have opened just now, this is an Python editor, which you need to write Python file, means Python code. Definitely it is required, means it will be installed, means I'll be helping you to install this editor, and you can create your first Python program, okay, and like this, and okay, as you all are completely unaware of each and every elements that I'm going to write, okay, but then also I'll be showing you something which actually is possible. Like I'll start with a very basic problems, okay. So like you can have a problem like somebody can ask you write a program to print even numbers between 1 to 100, okay. So this is my problem statement, and now we are going to see how we can approach this, correct. Means so suppose if somebody asks me to print all the even numbers from 1 to 100, okay, so definitely there will be some logic behind it, correct. Means you know what is the definition of an even number, correct. So even numbers are the numbers which are divisible by 2, correct. So we know this as a human, but now I have to make the same, I have to write the same concepts in terms of programming, correct. So for that, I'll be definitely creating a function, okay, print even, correct. This is the name of my function which I'm writing, and this is going to take a range, okay, like the maximum limit it is going to take, and the starting is definitely from 1. So I'll be accepting a maximum value till where I want to go, okay. So this is maximum is the limit till where I want to print the even numbers, okay. So now I have to traverse from 1 to 100. So for that I'll be starting with a for loop, okay. So means the loop is something which starts from a particular number and go till the end, okay. So that is called as a loop. So now here we are starting with okay. So this is what we are starting with, means for I in range. So don't get confused over means whatever the syntax I'm writing it. Okay. So you we have explanation for everything that I'm going to write here, but I think you just I'm just asking you to just see the logic how I'm approaching the concept problem statement. Okay. So the problem statement is I have to find the even numbers. Okay. So the even numbers, how we can find out? So in normal language, if we talk about, so even numbers are nothing but divisible by 2, correct? So every number that you see here, it has to be divisible by 2, then only it will be an even number, correct? So for that, in Python, we can check if a number is divisible by 2 or not. So for that, we have this remainder, okay? So if you divide something by 2 and the remainder is coming to be 0, that means that number is an even number, okay? Even number is okay. So this is my program ready, okay? I think you need not to write, see, 1, 2, 3, 3 lines of code is actually I have written, and I am able to solve this problem. Means I am actually able to print the numbers from 1 to 100, and just if you run this program, okay, you just run this program, you have to call this method like print even, and you can pass the maximum range as 100, and it should be printing the numbers from 1 to 100, which are even numbers. You can see the even numbers are getting printed, you see, from 0 to 100, correct? So this is how we approach a problem, okay, and we solve that problem, okay. So there are various programs, means based on Python. Now because if you the best way to learn a language is you start solving the problem in that, and by that way you'll actually understand a language how it behaves, okay. So I started with a very small problem, that is finding out an even numbers from 1 to 100, but I think there are various complex problems that there are various complex problems that you can actually try to solve with the help of Python. But before solving them, you should be definitely be aware about the syntaxes and all, and then only you can start writing a language fluently. Okay, so that's it about the demo class. I think we can actually continue with the session if you all are interested. Otherwise, yeah, it's your wish. Yeah, thank you. So we'll wind up the class. Thank you. Bye-bye. Any questions do you want to ask? Or
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you.
yeah, thank you, Priya. Thank you everyone for joining. If you all are interested, you can definitely ask them, whoever contacted you, you can ask them to for this class, okay? And we can go ahead with it. Okay.
So it will be the same topics, right? From tomorrow on.
Yeah, can you tell me what you asked?
No, it will be the same timing.
Yeah, you all can decide. Means if you are comfortable with this timing, so I am good too. I can start with the 10, not an issue.
Okay. Thank you.
Fine with all of you. Like 10 is the perfect timing for all of you, or
yeah, this is good. Yeah.
this is good, correct? So yeah, you can inform them, and they will be scheduling the class. Okay, you want the class from tomorrow itself, or
yes, but I think we need to talk to management, and they will decide when to start.
Sure. Yeah, no issue. Yeah, you can talk to them. Yeah, definitely. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Bye-bye.